Well, it looks like President Trump has done the impossible. He, of course, has Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel agreeing to a peace plan that they have authored. It's labeled the 20-point peace plan. And of course, if this is successful, you can see President Trump nominated for the Nobel Prize in the near to close term future. Of course, backstory, if you remember October 7th, 2023, Hamas decided to lead an offensive and surprise Israeli festival goers by leading an assault and killing about 1,200 festival goers, taking about 251 hostages. Israel, of course, retaliated to defend themselves, and their offensive, of course, if you know anything about Israel, they have the strongest military in the Middle East. They were able to kill about 65,000 people in the Gaza region. Gaza has been brought to ruin. It's completely gone. Infrastructure completely decimated. There's nothing left, and it's terrible. Some detractors have been arguing that Hamas, because they've been such a radical militant regime, they had no care about what happened to the civilians of the region, which is why there was no military strategy. They decided to go in, and their entire offensive strategy so far has been using the media backlash against Israel, whereas some claim Israel's gone too far and they need to call for peace. But let's, of course, just dive into this peace plan and see what all it entails. So number one, Gaza will be de-radicalized as a terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Number two, Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. Number three, if both sides agree to this proposal, the war will end immediately. Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed upon line to prepare for a hostage release. I think this is one of the key elements of this peace agreement is get the hostages out of there. There's no need to hold the hostages this far. Trump has been, of course, calling for the release of the hostages for so long now. And if this can work successfully, this would be absolutely amazing in terms of preserving the hostage life. Bullet point 4, within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting the agreement, all hostages alive and deceased will be returned. Bullet number 5, once all hostages are released, Israel will release 250 life sentence prisoners, plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after October 7th, including all women and children. Bullet point 6, once all hostages are returned, Hamas members will commit to peaceful coexistence and to decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. Members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. That's what it's going to be, guys. That's what it's going to be. Israel will not be able to retaliate legally to imprison more of the Hamas members. Upon acceptance of this agreement, full aid will immediately be sent to the Gaza Strip. At a minimum, aid quantities will be consistent with what was included in the January 19, 2025 agreement regarding humanitarian aid, including rehab of infrastructure like water, electricity, and sewage, rehab of hospitals and bakeries, and entry of necessary equipment to remove rubble and open roads. Again, if you haven't seen the imagery of Gaza, it's been brought to ruin. Complete destruction of all infrastructure. It's unlivable right now. So, point 8, entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties through the United Nations and its agencies and the Red Crescent, in addition to other international institutions not associated in any manner with either party. Bullet 9, Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of technocratic, apolitical Palestinian community responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people of Gaza. Oh gosh. The people will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts. Okay. Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities in the Middle East. So, of course, most likely will be all the Saudi Arabian megacities that have been popping up. Of course, what they've done with Rydia, the Wall, etc. Bullet 11, a special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. 12, no one will be forced to leave Gaza, and those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza. 13, Hamas and other factions agreed not to have any role in the governance of Gaza. And again, Hamas has always been a radical Islamist terrorist organization. People argue that Hamas had the best interests of the Gazan region in mind, but they have not, by no means. Because they are not subject to international war laws, they have been able to use that to their advantage, which is why they were burrowing and creating tunnels underground. They were utilizing hospitals and schools for protection. They wore no military garb to identify themselves, which allowed them to blend in with civilians. If any nation did any of these things, they would be guilty of war crimes. But because Hamas is not a nation, they are a terrorist organization, they were able to utilize this to their benefits. Bullet point 14, a guarantee will be provided by regional partners to ensure that Hamas and the factions comply with their obligations, that the new Gaza poses no threat to its neighbors or peoples. I wonder if that's going to be the new name that sticks, New Gaza. Bullet 15, the United States will work with Arab and international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force to immediately deploy in Gaza. The ISF will train and provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza and will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in the field. Oh boy. 16, Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza. So point blank, straightforward. 17, in the event Hamas delays or rejects its proposal, the above, including the scaled-up aid operation, will proceed in the terror-free areas handed over from the IDF to the ISF. 18, an interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try to change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. So basically, this is going to be a large-scale PR operation utilizing religion to shift the image and the narrative regarding the Gazan people, or Palestinians in general. Excuse me. Bullet 19, while Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. I'll go ahead and just say that's not necessarily the aspiration of the Palestinian people. That's half of the aspiration. Number one, yes, they want their own individual sovereign land where they have the right to self-determination. That is correct. But they also want Israel eliminated from the map. They want Israel gone. And they want all of Israel. They don't want Jews to exist in that land, period. That's the true end goal. And it's been written in the PLO charter ever since its inception. The destruction of Israel has always been their goal. So this idea of coexistence is where everything tends to fall apart. Lastly, the United States will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. You guys let me know what you think. To see the hostages released, those are all good things in and of themselves. But this idea of a coexisting Israel and Palestinian states, and of course, inevitably what they decide to do with Jerusalem and how they split that is always going to be, and most likely could raise tensions back up and lead to more tension.